What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Sun and today's challenge will be can it beat Pokemon Sun hardcore Nuzlocke using only shiny tradable Pokemon or trade evolution Pokemon. So we've actually done this on Sun and Moon, which I'm surprised about because this is running out of ideas. If you guys have any ideas, let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, today's challenge rule set are on screen right now. So you can only catch one Pokemon per route. You have to evolve via trade at one point to consider a Pokemon we can use on our team. And also on top of that, if my Pokemon ever faints, they're dead. Can't use them ever again. There's also a level cap. The level cap's actually a little weird. There's no gyms. There are island Kahunas, so we're going to base them off the island Kahunas in the game. So that's going to be the level cap. Can't go over that. It's going to be based on the highest level in each Kahuna's team. We also have to play on set mode, and there are no items inside of battle besides hell item. You can use hell items, you can't use bag items. It's pretty simple stuff. There's also a fun roll on top of that. Each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for leaving a comment in my previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon, just drop in the comments and hopefully I pick yours. And while it's down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. So I was just reading the comments on my Ready Shadow Legend video. A lot of people were not too happy about that. But you know what? I gotta secure the bag, guys. I'm sorry. There will be Pokemon videos just in between some bag work. Anyways, from there we're gonna move on. The first part of the challenge, we can't actually get a Pokemon until we actually get into Route 1 over here by the Professor house, where we can start hunting out here and we get ourselves a Slowpoke. Now Slowpoke isn't traditionally a tradable Pokemon, but it actually evolves via holding a King's Rock and trading it into a Slowking, so it's actually a pretty good Pokemon. We're gonna find ourselves a shiny Slowpoke, which I thought it was gonna be green. I remember it being green for some reason, but maybe it changed or maybe I'm just hallucinating. But I swear it was green at one point. Either way, we face off against the teacher in the Pokemon school, and I was about to rip my hair out. I was like getting so unlucky. I got paralyzed, I got bitten, flinch, but lucky enough, we got through it and beat down the professor. And then from there, we can make our way into Howley City, a brand new route where we can catch another Pokemon, another really annoying Pokemon. One thing about Slowpoke, super slow, so I can barely run away from Pokemon. If I don't want to battle Pokemon, because I don't want to get too high on XP, I have to run away from them. Eventually, we find ourselves in Abra, and lucky enough, we had a Great Ball, so I could use a Great Ball and catch the Abra. If I didn't, I'm not gonna lie, I just would have reset and just pretend nothing happened because I needed another Pokemon. Even though I can't even use Abra right now, it's just nice to have another Pokemon just in the back waiting. From there, we go out to the cemetery on Melee Island and go out and catch ourselves a shiny Ghastly, which is going to be really nice. We got our team set up a little bit. Ghastly's not going to be too useful. So from there, we can catch ourselves a shiny Ghastly. We're going to move on to this place. I don't know why I didn't get a Persian Berry. I beat the Team Skull members. I didn't get a Persian Berry, so that I couldn't get a Citrus Berry. Really annoying. Either way, I evolved my Abra into Kadabra because I just want to just like run through the trials. I'm not going to use them for the island fight, but it was a little cheese, and now I'm thinking back to it, but I didn't even get Confusion, so like the game screwed me on that, so I'm like, where am I not supposed to learn Confusion here? But either way, we're going to move on and face up against the first totem in the game. We're going to face up against the Gumshoes using my Slowpoke. Lucky enough, I have Echo Voice on my Slowpoke, and I didn't get flinched. So maybe let's just knock out the Gumshoes, the totem Gumshoes here. And we also beat down Yungoos, and we barely not have enough XP to level up, so we'll take that. As we beat down the normal trial, we're going to move on into the first Kahuna in the game. We're going to face off against Hala. We're going to start the battle off against Hala using my Slowpoke. Now Slowpoke's able to go face off against Hala's Mankey using a Confusion and then knock him out in 2 shots as we survive a pursuit. From there, you can switch out into his Crab Roller, which goes out for a Z move. I survive it. I'm going to go for a Confusion, knock him out eventually, and then his final Pokemon will be a Makuhita. I go out to my Ghastly and realize the Makuhita has no moves to hit me, so he's going to go for Sand Attack, and I have to go for Curse. Eventually, I have to go for Curse, and then because my Nightshades are missing, I didn't even know Nightshades can miss, I'll be honest. But either way, Makuhita goes down. We beat down Hala pretty easily, and finally, we have access into other things. So firstly, we go into Tensor Hills over here and then start shiny hunting out here. 2 different Pokemons we can get. We get a Roggenrola or a Machop. Prefer Machop. And looking up, we got ourselves a shiny Machop. Roggenrola wouldn't be the best Pokemon to have. Would have ditched it or just sacrificed it eventually. But either way, Machop added to my team, which is nice. We move on to Akala Island and face up against the Water Trial out here. Again, Slowpoke with Echo Voice somehow is the greatest Pokemon alive. As we're able to just knock out the Wishy-Washies out here. Took a little bit of a risk here at 13 HP, but you know what? It's fine. We knock them out. Both of them as we beat down the Water Trial, and now we can move on into the Battle Royale, which we almost lost. Look at this nonsense. This Rockruff is cheating. Like, it actually wanted me to lose, but lucky enough, we didn't lose a Pokemon here, and we can move out to the well of Volcano Peak and then start shiny hunting out here for our next Pokemon, which is going to be a shiny Magby. Now Magmortar, I don't know a lot of people know this, but Magmortar and Electivire, some of my favorite Pokemon. It's just because they're so cool to get, and they're also really hard to get in Platinum, Diamond, and Pearl in general. So lucky enough, we get ourselves a Magby here and can fulfill my childhood wishes of getting a Magmortar. We also go out and get ourselves a TM for Rock Tomb and then face up against the Fire Trial next, which is going to be really nice. We beat down all the necessary battles and face up against the Totem Salazzle. Unfortunately, Mystic Water Slowpoke still isn't strong enough to one-shot it, so we didn't come close. We leave it at 1 HP as he knocks me down to red HP, and I'm like, that's not great. I go out to my Magby because I know this thing can survive anything, and looking up, I'm able to survive both the hits from him. For some reason, I outspeed the Salazzle, so I'll take that as Magby's able to knock out the Salazzle. And then from there, I go out to my Kadabra against the Salandit, knock him out with a Psybeam because I don't have Confusion. And then from there, we beat down the Fire Trial, and then we can move on and face off against the Grass Trial. Now the Grass Trial, I don't have a fully evolved Pokemon or even a middle stage Magby, but Magby could still hold its own as we go out to my Magby and then go for a Flame Charge. As he goes for X-Scissor and then burn itself, so Lurantis is kind of useless at this point, so I'm like, this is free. Go for Flame Burst and knock him out with the burn, and then just chip down the cast form as we're ready to beat down the Grass Trial in like 5 turns. This is probably the easiest fight we had against it. From there, we can move on and face off against the next Kahuna in the game. We're going to face off against Olivia next. Olivia's going to start the battle off against it using a Nosepass against my Slowpoke. We're going to go for Scald against it. It's going to paralyze me, it's going to get annoying, but eventually we're going to chip him down and just Scald and knock him out. Then from there, she can switch out to her Lightning Rock. It goes for a Bite against me. I go out to my Machop. With an Eviolite, I should be fine here as I'm able to low sweep into him. I don't outspeed him after this. As she goes out for a Continental Crush, it doesn't do anything to my Machop as we're to low sweep and knock out the Lightning Rock. From there, her next Pokemon will be a Boldore as we low sweep. It's going to headbutt me. It's going to get really annoying. If it crits here, I just realized if it crit here, I would have been really mad. But looking enough, it didn't as I made a low sweep and knock him out with 3 hits. You might be wondering why I don't have Brick Break on it. It's because I'm dumb. That's the only reason why I don't have Brick Break on it. But either way, my Machop evolves into a Machoke. We'll take that. As also my Magby evolves into a Magmar. And then at this point, I was like, when should I really evolve my Pokemon? I was like, you know what? After this random fight against Hal, which is evolve everyone. So we beat down Hal in Mali Garden. Is it Mali Garden, Mali City? Something like that. Either way, all my Pokemon are fully evolved at this point. And I could get a bunch of other Pokemon. We'll come back to that in a little bit. But my Pokemon are evolved. I love Alakazam. Alakazam's so broken. We also got Psychic on this, so it's really broken now. And from there, we're going to move on to the Electric Trial in the game. We're going to face off against the Totem Decabo, which we're easily able to knock out in like 3 hits. So we beat down that trial, quote-unquote trial. Now from there, I want to round out my team because the next trial is going to be the hardest trial in the game. So we can go back into Brooklyn Hills. We're going to try to get ourselves a Feebas. It was not working. Like, I just couldn't do it. Like, maybe I was mentally gone. I just couldn't do it. So I decided to go out to Memorial Hill and get ourselves a Phantom instead. So we're going to catch ourselves a Phantom, evolve it into Trevenant, and then face up against the Ghost Trial in the game. We're going to face up against the Ghost Trial by starting off the battle using my Machamp. Machamp's able to go for Bodos to weaken down the Mimikyu. My team is really bad against this Mimikyu, I just realized. I realized at the time. So I decided to go out to my Slowking against it, take a Hypnosis and play rough. I'm like, okay, that's not the greatest turn. I go out and seal my Magmortar, looking for a burn. It gets crit with a Shadow Claw. I'm like, okay, hopefully it survives. I look, I survive and knock out the Haunt with a Lava Plume. So we chip down the Mimikyu, and then at this point I'm like, I have to sack it. I have to sack my Trevenant. Even though I just got it, I have to sack it. Anyways, I sack my Trevenant, I go out and seal my Gengar, outspeed him thanks to the Bodos to knock out the Mimikyu, and then dodge the Hypnosis against the Gengar to knock him out with a Shadow Ball as we beat down the Ghost Trial in the game, which is, you know what? Could have been worse. We go back out into Route 12. We're going to actually start hunting in Route 12 for a Geodude. Whatever we get here, we can get. So we catch ourselves a Geodude. And then from there, we could guarantee Elekid as our encounter in Blush Mountain. So we'll take that. We have 2 new Pokemon, just in case either one of them faints. We want to use Elekid because he's kind of cooler. So we have Electivire on my team. As from there, we can move on. And doesn't last too long, I'm not going to lie. We face off against Guzma, clear down Guzma, and face off against Nanu next. We're going to start the battle off against Nanu using my Electivire. We're going to go for a Thunder Punch off against the Sableye. As he goes for Shadow Balls, it's fine. I'm surprised he didn't go for Fake Out. I don't know why, but I made a Thunder Punch and knock him out, which is really easy. He then goes out to his Crocodile, which is kind of scary. I go out into my Slowking. I take the Earthquake, not well. And then I double into my Machamp. Machamp's able to survive the crunch and then go for a Brick Break to knock out the Croc Rock. As from there, his next Pokemon is going to be a Persian, which I know is going to go for some stupid stuff. He goes for Fake Out. I go out to my Electivire. I'm like, I Damn, someone's gonna die here. He's gonna go for a Dark Hole Eclipse, and someone's gonna die here. He goes for a Dark Hole Eclipse or Black Hole Eclipse and then knock out my Electivire. Everything in that slot, the 6th slot at the bottom, is always dying. Go out to my Magmortar, which is luckily able to survive a Power Gem and then crit it with a Charcoal Lava Plume and knock out the Persian in one shot. And I'm like, maybe I should have sent this thing out. This thing's kind of strong. But either way, Electivire goes down. I have 2 deaths, and I'm like, who do I fill up my team with? I guess I gotta use the Geodude I caught earlier. But either way, we get transported to the Aether Foundation. So we beat down Guzma and also Lusamine first. And then from there, we could transition, evolve my Geodude into a Golem. And then from there, we could also go back and get a bunch of TMs. We get Stone Edge, Focus Blast, Calm Mind, all the great TMs we can have. And then from there, we also get the TM for Rest. You guys might be wondering what I'm doing with Rest, but it's going to be actually a crazy tech. As we face off against the final Kahuna in the game, we're start the battle off against her using my Machamp. Machamp Bulk Up Rest is going to be an interesting combo as we're going to try to get it off. As we're going to bulk up in front of this Duck Trio, we also have a berry in the back, which is going to be nice. Pop the Figgy Berry. As we're able to get +6 on my attack and also defense against the Duck Trio, and then go for a nice healthy rest of all the damage. Hopefully it doesn't get crit to avoid my stat boost, but it doesn't, at least lucky enough it doesn't, as I'm able to wake up and then Bodos knock him out. From there, her next opponent is going to be a Mudsdale. I assume it's going to go for Tectonic Rage, so I go for Brick Break, because I know at +6 I can survive it, but she switched out for some reason and went out to her Flygon. This Flygon was the only thing that I was scared of because it was a special attacker, so I'm going to just knock him out with pretty much ease, and I'm going to Brick Break and knock out the Mudsdale as well, and then Brick Break and knock out the Gastrodon as we beat down Hapu very easily as she just gave it to me. I'm like, okay, that could have been a lot harder if she just didn't switch out in the middle of the turn. But from there, we're going to move on to the final trial in the game. We're going to face out against this Como trial, and I taught my Alakazam Dazzling Gleam just for this fight, but I just had a feeling it's gonna go for Protect, and it instantly went for Protect. I knew it. I went for a Calm Mind to go for a Psychic the following turn, and I'm able to knock out the Como and also the Hakmo in the following turn. As we beat him down, we've cleared through the final trial in the game and outplayed it pretty easily. From there, we're going to move on and face off against Lusamine next. Lusamine is going to be her final form in her Nihilego form. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Alakazam. Alakazam has infinite Calm Minds. Against this Metronome Clefable, we would just beat him down pretty easily. We also have Recover, which is just so busted, by the way. It's actually not fair that I don't think I use Alakazam like this further on, so you guys don't have to worry about me cheesing it. But we just cheese down Lusamine because she's just set up fodder, as we're able to beat her down pretty easily with my Alakazam. And then from there, we can move on and face off against Gladion. Gladion is also pretty easy. You know, we don't lose a Pokemon against him. And also against How's also easy fight. My Slowking finished him off, and now we can make our way into the Elite Four and face off against the Elite Four themselves. Now the first Elite Four member we're going to face off against is going to be Hala. Now, honestly, Hala's not too difficult. We use my Alakazam to start the battle off against him. Using my Alakazam against his Hariyama, we're able to Psychic and one-shot his Hariyama after the Fake Out. And that's the only type of damage he really got on me, as my Odd Instance Alakazam is able to knock out the Hariyama, knock out the Primate, and then knock out a Beware. You know, everything's going down. We knock out a Crabominable and also knock out the Poliwrath in the back. We one-shot everything as we beat down Hala. No worries at all. And yeah, no setup needed. From there, we're gonna move on and face off against Olivia next. Olivia's gonna be the Rock type Kahuna in the Olivia's gonna be the Rock type Elite Four member in the game. We're start the battle off against her using my Alakazam once again. I don't know why I went for Calm Mind. I was hoping it's going for Hydro Pump. It did miss Hydro Pump, but then I realized it has Yawn, and then I don't want to stick in here and just battle against it with Yawn. So I go for a Grass Knot and knock out the Relicanth. Maybe I should have gone for another Calm Mind as she goes out to her Lycanroc. I'm gonna go out to my Machamp, and Machamp, you know how Machamp goes. It goes for bulk ups and just steams it up. I go for Bodos just to make sure I can outspeed it. I can control the battle a little bit more. And then from there, I can go for a rest and then regain all my HP when I need. And then from there, I get +6 on my attack and defense. I'm able to one-shot the Lycanroc pretty easily. Her next Pokemon's going to be a Carbink, which I can Bodos and one-shot as well. Her next Pokemon after that will be a Probopass, which is kind of annoying. It survives as sturdy. It's going to Thunder Wave me, of course it does. But lucky enough, I break through it a little bit. It's going to get paralyzed. It's getting a little annoying, but lucky enough, I do outspeed him. It gets me down to half HP. But I'm able to knock him out, and then her next Pokemon will be a Golem. It does also have Sturdy, so it's kind of annoying, but I go for a Bodos. Lucky enough, I can outspeed it and then survive another one. And then from there, I can Bodos and knock out the Alolan Golem as we beat down Olivia. And then a really annoying fight, I'm not going to lie. But you know what? We got it done. From there, we're going to face off against Accelera next. Accelera is going to be the Ghost-type Elite Four member in the game. We're start the battle off against her using my Alakazam. Alakazam goes for a Dazzling Gleam against the Sableye. One-shots it pretty easy. This thing's weak. Her next Pokemon is going to be a Delmise as I go out to my Magmortar. So I have a Shadow Ball pretty easily as I go for a Flamethrower. Knock out the Delmise, but that invites the Palossand in, and this thing's kind of scary. Go out into my Gengar next. I go out to my Slowking next. Slowking's able to survive an Earth Power. And then from there, I go for a Scald. I'm like, if she goes for a never-ending Nightmare here, it's over for me. But she doesn't. She goes for Iron Defense. I'm like, sure, I went for a Nasty Plot, but I just want to knock out the Palisson so badly. But it works out. I'm able to eventually knock out the Palisson in 3 more Scalds. As from there, her next Pokemon was going to be her Frostlass. I could have stayed in, but I didn't want to risk it. I go out to my Golem. Golem takes a Shadow Ball. It gets a special defense dropped. I'm like, this thing is so useless. I gotta switch out. I switched out to my Magmortar. Look it up. It's dodged the Blizzards and then Flamethrower to knock them out. So we're ready to knock out the Frostlass. As her next and final Pokemon will be a Drifloon. Go out into my Golem. Don't take an Ominous Wind too well, but I have the Berry in the back. Looking of it works out. As she goes for an Amnesia, I go for a Stone Edge, and then from there, I could just go for a Stone Edge once again to knock him out. As we beat down a Celeera, it has 3 Elite Four members down. As we move on to the next one, we're gonna face off against Kahili next. Kahili's gave me the Flying type Elite Four member in the game. We're set to battle off against her using my Magmortar against her Skarmory. This is a pretty easy fight. I couldn't really set up with anyone, so I just went on Brute Force it. So we face off against Skarmory. We 2-shot with Flamethrower, and then her next Pokemon will be Amanda Buzz. I go for a Fire Blast. It works pretty well against them. It gets her down to half HP, and then from there she burns herself with a Brave Bird, and then from there I could go for a Flamethrower to make sure I knock him out. So that's pretty nice. Her next Pokemon will be a Toucannon. It goes for a Z move immediately, which I didn't expect. I go out to my Golem, just because I know it's going to hit me with any type of flying move. So from there, I survived relatively easy, and Golem's able to survive a Bullet Seed from it as well. Thanks to the berry I had, thanks to the Figgy Berry I had in the back. And then from there, I could Rock Blast into him. Unfortunately, the Rock Blast doesn't kill the Toucannon, but lucky enough, it forced him to use a full restore, so I'm able to go for a Rock Blast once again, knock him out in the second cycle, and then after that, her next Pokemon will be an Oricorio, which I go out into my Slowking. Slowking's able to take a Revelation Dance pretty easily and then Scald into him to knock him out. And this is the only time I've ever seen Own Temple worked. She goes out to her Crobat. She goes for Supersonic, but I have Own Temple, so I actually blocked the Supersonic and then Psychic to knock him out in one shot. As we beat down Kahili in probably glorious fashion, we don't lose a single Pokemon against the Elite Four. Now it's time to face off against Professor Kukui. So we're going to start the battle off against Professor Kukui using my Machamp, because this thing is probably the best thing I have to sweep his team before it gets really annoying. He goes out to his Lightning Rocks to start the battle. I go out to my Machamp. I bulk up in front of him. He goes for Stealth Rocks, and then from there I just go for +6. Obviously the good old play. He doesn't, he crit me once at least. So you know, after that he's gonna run out of PP on his Stone Edge and then go for a Cell Rocks and then go for Crunches. Lucky enough, I'm able to wake up eventually and knock out the Lycan Rock in one shot. The next thing is gonna be the biggest threat. It's gonna be his Bravery. It could go for Tailwind or it could go for Brave Bird, possibly crit me and knock me out. But he actually went for the best play against me. Goes for Whirlwind. So I actually outspeed him. Brick Break to knock out the Bravery, and that should be the end of the battle. As from there, his next Pokemon is going to be a Primarina, which I go for Bodos to knock out as well. His next Pokemon after that will be a Ninetales, which has survived a Dazzling Gleam because it's not that strong. It's even a crit, by the way. I Brick Break to knock out the Ninetales, and then from there, his next Pokemon is going to be a Magnezone. I'm like, this is pretty much free. I knock him down to a Sturdy. He's going to knock me out, which is fine. I then go out to my Magmortar, which would knock out the Magnezone for me. And then from there, his final Pokemon will be his Snorlax, which I go for Smoke Screens against him because I have 5 Pokemon in the back. All of them can also be knocked out by the Snorlax, so I gotta be very careful. I want to make sure I can knock them out. I'm gonna sacrifice my Magmortar just by going for Smoke Screens, just to make sure it has no accuracy going forwards. It's gonna knock out my Magmortar, which is fine, but then I go out into my Slowking. Slowking's able to go for a Nasty Plot and then Psychic into him twice to knock out the Snorlax. I'm fine with second Magmortar because at the end of the day, we end up beating down the Elite Four. We end up clearing through Sun and Moon using only Link Tree Pokemon, and my team was pretty broken, I'm not gonna lie. I really love the Machamp tech of using Bulk Up and Rest, even though it shouldn't really work too well because any special attacker that can have like slightly any speed can knock me out. It worked out pretty well, but either way, that'll be the end of my video. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, my name is Alpha, and I hope you guys all have a great day. I'm out. Peace.